make an Avengers video game, you need an Avengers-worthy cast, which is why Square Enix assembled the Avengers of voice actors for the upcoming Avengers video game. If that wasn't enough times hearing the word Avengers in a single intro, here is the creative director and cast of the Avengers video game to help me say Avengers even more. Avengers, ladies and gentlemen, Sean Eskai, Jeff Shine, Troy Baker, Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, and Norland North. Welcome.
And
welcome, Avengers.
And featuring Nolan.
and
I'm afraid to say the word now.
And the afterthought.
For
the first time ever.
Thank you for assembling here on the iTunes stage here at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I believe that you had your panel earlier today. I know you had your big reveal at E3 last month, showed off gameplay to reporters, including myself, behind closed doors. But then you gave attendees of your panel even more of a look at the game. Is that right?
Yeah, so we started with the prologue, which you guys saw, which is the kind of the setup of the game, setup of the world and the world stakes, and the state of the Avengers. It's also a really good, sort of narrative-driven, tailored, hero-specific level. So it's a good example of that. But we also showed, to your point, the promise of leveling up, customization, different outfits, and going out and playing online with your friends, which I thought was pretty awesome as well.
I see. And we're taking a look at the sort of reveal that you showed at E3 last month. I know everyone out there, the greater audience out there, is excited to see more of the game. When are they going to get to see their gameplay?
Well, we're going to release this footage actually
Okay.
A week after Gamescom,
Oh,
so
perfect.
they can look forward to it there. We'll have the full playthrough. It'll be awesome.
Cool. So not too far away. That's
Not
good.
too far.
Something to look forward to.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Let's talk to you.
Okay.
Let's talk to you.
Hello, Damon. Okay, you guys.
Tell me, how do you go about figuring out what the voices of Earth's mightiest heroes should sound like?
Wow.
Let's take that one.
Jeez.
Wow.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I don't think we really focused that much on the voice per se. It was more about some of us have worked together before, some of us have worked together for the first time, and these characters are so well established. But to tell an original story, you need to put your own original voice to it, not just vocally, but like give these characters a new voice. And so it really just kind of comes from the top down. It's working with Sean, it's working together as a cast, and us kind of together forming who these Avengers in this story look like.
And just the body postures as well, like actually getting to mocap these characters has been such an amazing experience. Walking around with a hammer, they had to fight me to pull it out of my hand. Like, no, it's powerful.
And it was weighty too.
It
Like,
was.
it had weight.
It was, yeah, it was real.
None of us could pick it up.
I mean, to walk around in an actual big metal suit
Yeah, that's
and
good.
be able to fly
Yeah.
around the studio. I knocked over a few lights. We had a few mishaps like that, but
It's very method.
it was the commute home was brilliant. I could just fly over all the traffic.
Do you feel like a responsibility when you're portraying such famous characters? Do you feel like there's more responsibility to the fans and the community?
I think there's a responsibility, but I think you have to bring your own like individual take on it. So you want to be true to sort of the canon of the character, but in the same respect, I think it's also incumbent upon you to bring something different and new and unique to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and we're pretty fortunate to have Marvel as collaborators. They kind of gave us free reign to do, an original story, and I think that's the key. And this cast represents, a very unique take on the Avengers, and in this particular world.
So who are some of your favorite Avengers? Don't feel obligated to say the ones you play.
Oh, man.
We'll just go down the line.
Go.
I mean, I have to say, no, I have a fondness for Cap now. I do.
Easy punch.
I know, but I'm going.
I think he's a little biased.
I'm so biased now, but I can't separate myself anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's no lie. People know I've always been partial to Hawkeye for a long time.
I like Hawkeye
Yeah.
too.
Love Hawkeye.
It's a bad rap.
No,
Why?
it's a great
He's
rap.
awesome.
No, there's Hawkeye haters out there.
I don't.
You know who you are.
Nobody at all should think that my haircut was at all inspiring. But
I mean, that's
the
fine. I
cool
don't
thing
care.
about this story is
I
when
don't even-
Sean called me about this, he's like, "Hey man, I want you to play Banner." I was like, "That's weird. It's even weirder if this is not an Avengers kind of game." And through this story, man, we've had some really cool talks about who this character is, and I've really fallen in love with who Banner is. So
Yeah.
he's my favorite.
Is everybody just going to say The Rock?
Yeah, just
Yeah, who
No,
are
but
you
it's
going to
true,
say?
though.
No,
What
yeah,
were you
no, you. I was going to say Widow. What were you going to say?
Obviously Thor.
Oh, man, that's so great.
So my favorite
Oh, that's
ever.
gross. Well, I mean, yeah, the easy answer is Iron Man, but I actually, to be honest with you, Hawkeye was always something.
Thank you.
My dad is from Iowa, and there's something about just an Iowa boy with a bow and arrow and a dream.
Yeah.
And just something about him. He just had this vulnerability, and you didn't know too much about him. So I kind of like Hawkeye. Go with Hawkeye.
And to be honest, Hulk is mine just because he's the sort of the equation smasher, right? Like everybody comes in and has like tactics and ways of approaching things, and you just kind of drop him in and go like, well, there it goes. We'll see what happens now.
Yeah. Speaking of Hulk, Troy, are you doing both Banner and Hulk voices?
So we look. I have no arrogance about my abilities, and I know where I'm good. I know where I'm good.
I know I'm good.
I had a great stunt double, and there's great people that are far better suited for doing that. So the benefit that I got was to be able to focus on Banner in our story. And then a couple of moments, I get to do some.
Yeah.
Can I take credit? I get to do. I got to do the jump from the ship from the Quinjet. I got to do that.
Also,
He,
the
directed
Hulk
hell
struggle,
out of me on
like
that.
I think, and that's an important facet of Hulk in this, is the struggle between Hulk and Banner. And I think Troy did a fantastic job at bringing the Hulk struggle and the Banner struggle closer for the character.
Yeah, but let's not pretend that you jumped from a Quinjet.
It was a nice size.
It was a good size box.
It was
I got
healthy.
to do the run, and then, hey, you could look at everybody who's ever done a superhero thing. We all look ridiculous. Up to the amazing. Look, show this right there. Come on, I got to do that.
That's
Whoosh.
great.
Thank
It's a
you.
good jump.
Yeah.
It was 6 inches.
Here's the worst part. The worst
Nope,
part
I
of
rolled it.
performance capture in this game has to go to Travis and I, because when Cap will tell you to take off, we have to go, you're on it, and then there's a little quip, and he swings the hammer and has to hold it, and I do this, and I look like Tinkerbell, while everyone's finishing the rest of the scene, and we're looking at each other trying not to laugh.
Yeah, he's like this.
Serious.
We're gonna post that. We're gonna post that
Yeah,
footage.
yeah.
Yeah, we should post it.
It'll be there.
Just that.
It'll be there.
We got the takeoff.
It should just be a still.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming by the Agent Stage. We're all very excited to see and eventually get to play Marvel's Avengers. It's out May 15th.
May 15th.
2020. Thank you so much. Have a great Comic-Con, you guys.
You too, man.
Thank
You too, thanks.
All right, I also think we said Avengers 100 times back there, but Comic-Con is just getting started, so we'll probably say Avengers quite a few more times over the next 2 days. Coming up in a bit, we're rounding up the biggest stuff to come out of day one of Comic-Con, both on our stage and at the convention itself. Today might be winding down, but we kick things off tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific with breaking news right out of the panel for Netflix's Witcher panel. But right now, there's more IGN Live to come. Stick around.